Hey guys, do you remember that time that Jordan edited the podcast so that he introduced two bands that were going up against each other? And then right after that, I came in asking who the bands were? That was a good time.
It's about to happen again, baby, because it's round 3. No, round 2. Shit. I already fucked it up. Day 3, round 2. Final 8 bands. We have random seeding. Paul, give us the quick and dirty. These albums suck. They're good. What's going on?
Oh, yeah, they're all awful. I don't know why you're listening to this. No, we had a great list to start out with, 16 groups with their respective albums. We are down to 8, and it's going to be bloody. It's going to be kind of ruthless. I think we're going to get some feelings hurt.
Probably.
It's about to get tough.
Yeah. This is, especially this first matchup, because we have Sweet Darling, Kississippi, Sunset Blush, album that I know I've come around on as we've talked more and more about it, versus, and that would be our number 1 seed, versus our number 9 seed, Boygenius, self-titled. And we'll talk about Kississippi first. I know, Billy, you brought this album to us, bequeathed it upon us. In many ways, it is your baby. So I would like you to welcome your baby.
I would like to take equal credit in the promotion and marketing of this album.
It's right. Make your checks out to Billy Gatewood, Esquire.
But no, it's just one that stayed really strong, and it's one that's held up over multiple listens, and sometimes you find out that an album you love just was the right time, right place kind of deal, and next time you listen to it, or it kind of falls off after some listens. This one's it stayed true, and it's. What are you laughing at? What?
The next time you listen to it, you just realize your taste is garbage.
Well, yeah, honestly.
What the fuck was I doing?
Have you never done that before? Am I the only one that's been like, man, this album's like real good, and then?
Oh no, anyone who's grown into adulthood has done that before.
Yeah,
many.
Like S Club 7 seemed like a good idea to somebody.
No, I mean within the same year, like I might have just been really
why did I pick that?
in the mood for something at that time, and then I listened to it a few more times, and I'm like, it's really not as great as I thought it was when I first listened to it. I must have just been real sad, and that's what I needed.
Yeah, it's funny because I've already written my list, but I'm always like, I'm thinking about it. I'm like, that shouldn't have been there.
Yeah, right.
I like that album, but that shouldn't have been there. Like, there should have been something else.
So this album has stood out in the sense that like I still really, really like this, and I still stand by it, and I still think it's one of my favorites of the year, and I mean. I can't put into words why I think it should win over Boygenius, or if it even should.
That's
They're
exactly
both so
it.
good.
They're both really good. I'm leaning Kississippi myself, but there's no real reasoning for it. I see myself listening to it a little bit more. I think probably it would have appeal to more people than the Boygenius album, but Boygenius is pretty great. It's essentially a super group.
Yeah, I'd
fight for your album, Jordan. Let's hear it.
I don't know. So I do like them both. I want to spend more time with Kississippi, and going into this argument, I want you to know that I've not listened to Kississippi all that much. I've listened to Boygenius probably about 100 times.
Fair.
So, my first kind of the thing that I'll levy against Kississippi is that I found myself remembering more about Boygenius than I did about the Kississippi album. I do really love the way both bands do production. I think Boygenius is definitely more top dollar, and the way Kississippi gets away with so much on her album, with it being clearly way less budget, I think is incredible.
Wait a minute. Are you telling me you know more about the band that has 2 members whose solo careers you follow closely for years?
No, it's just a guess.
Okay.
I get a good ear like that.
Just the one.
Yeah, just the one. I have to listen to my right ear, not my left ear.
He's got one of those old-timey horns you'd stick in there during the Civil War.
Yeah, exactly. I think I liked the faster moments on Kississippi better than I liked the slower moments. But I think overall, my main complaint with Boygenius is that I wish there was more of it, and not in a bad way, but I feel like Kississippi is an altogether more complete package. Mm-hmm. It has a lot of good dynamics to it. It has some slower songs. It has a couple of nice ballads that I actually enjoy, but I do like the faster kind of, I don't know, more rock-ish songs for sure. So I don't know. I'm gonna be more partial to Boygenius by the nature that I've listened to it more. But I'm totally fine with either of them winning. And if you guys feel strongly enough about Kississippi, I'm totally fine seeding it. Especially when I think, Paul, you brought up earlier that it's not something that I know I haven't seen it on anybody's year-end lists, and I haven't seen it anywhere. And not that we should make that pick because it's different, but I think it is important. And if we want to draw that line of we want to promote things that people aren't going to seek out or things that people don't really know about all that much. And Boygenius does not check both of those boxes,
Right.
Yeah.
Because it is it's pretty big in terms of indie. Like, yes, it's indie in the kind of genre itself, but not in, production value or anything like that.
Right. But, a point in its favor is if they don't do that collaboration down the road, because all their careers are taken off.
Right.
Like, if they choose not to do any more Boygenius albums, this could be kind of a neat moment in music.
Yeah, for sure. And I think it's important to say that this album got Billy and I to appreciate, or to be able to appreciate Julie Baker.
That's fair.
Because I know we both don't like her, but I've always wanted to like her, and I've wanted to get why people love her. And this album really sold it for me. It was like, I
it
totally get
demonstrates
it.
what she's best at.
So yeah, I don't know. After hearing that, how you guys still leaning Kississippi?
Yeah, I think I'm in that camp.
Me too. I think I'm gonna go Kississippi.
Okay, let's do Kississippi.
Cool.
I like it. I think it's a solid pick.
Cool.
So Kississippi, Sunset Blush takes the lead. Up next, we have our 3 seed, Middle Kids, Lost Friends, versus our 11 seed, Pusha T, Daytona. Sorry if you feel some type of way. There's a front runner for me here. I guess there always should be a front runner.
Yeah, but is it the front runner that's going to be on everyone else's
That's
list?
true. That is very true. So let's talk about Middle Kids. Middle Kids, Lost Friends. We have. I feel like we've talked about this album like a million times at this point, but it's still really good. It's still a solid like country tinged like pop rock kind of feel to it that I really enjoy, and kind of can't wait for warmer weather to really kind of test it in the car. Like I'm super stoked to really get into it. How did you guys? Yeah, I think you guys. This was your double pick. I think a couple months ago.
So yeah.
So you guys are gonna be fighting for this one. I think maybe. Who knows?
I mean, this is another tough one. This album's super good. Like you had kind of touched on, it's got a lot of that just like, it's not high energy, but it's nice, like summery, like good weather music that
very
just,
loud.
Yeah,
too.
and it's just like,
Yeah, I'm not sure I get much of a country vibe from it, but
I think her voice has some country like qualities to it.
I mean to say it's country is
it's
not quite like
there are some similarities. It's not like you should go listen to that album if you're expecting a country album.
No,
it's not fair to say. Sorry.
But no, it's still hitting me really solidly. I could see myself listening to it repeatedly. I don't want to make these funnel rounds all about female singer-songwriters, just because we need some variance, but it's a really solid album.
So that's my power play for this round is, in a year full of disappointing and kind of low bar rap releases, Pusha T stood out amongst everything. And not only because he brought the bars and brought the strength of himself and really had one of the best performances of his career, but the production on that album really showed that Kanye is still one of the best and can still innovate and do different things that are interesting while still making a compelling rap album and not, being overly weird with it either.
See, that's a really good point. I guess I hadn't thought about that aspect of it too much, because what I was going to pose for you guys is, all right, I'll just say it. It's not going to be very popular. At what point does an album that's just solid, when we're surrounded by really shitty trap beats and like mumble rap, at what point does something that's good get elevated to great just because what's being compared to is so?
Yeah, that is a fair question.
Because he's really solid on this album. It's just,
I think
I'm not sure I'll be remembering it years down the road or anything.
For me,
I think I will.
Yeah. So
okay.
So and yeah, this for me, this was such a like throwback to that 90s and then even like early to like mid 2000s like era of hip hop that was so good, and the beats were just very organic and not overproduced, or they hadn't quite entered this like pop and trap phase. Right. Like it's a callback to what made those hip hop beats so great in the first place.
So this is for Billy. This is like the life cereal of hip hop. He doesn't normally like it, but even Billy likes it.
Well, I think it does say something that, like, I know you enjoy hip hop, probably not as much as I do, but it was cool to see you bring something to the table that was that kind of stood out. It stood out for you.
It did, yeah, because that's what I like about hip hop, and I am very, I guess, I'm picky about what I like with hip hop, but this just it was just a callback to everything that kind of like what hip hop was founded in, which was the like just sample beats and the nice like organic like drums and stuff like that, and not this new. I don't know. I haven't been into hip hop in so long that
it's not great.
Yeah.
You're not
so it was nice to see just something done so well in such a like newer age. I don't know.
I think at least for me, while I do enjoy the Middle Kids album, I don't know that it necessarily stands out all that much in terms of the breadth of that type of genre. Like, I think Kississippi is a better album in general, and I would feel like a more compelling. Not that this is what it's going to be, and this may be getting ahead of myself, but like if we were to stop it right now and it was Pusha T versus Kississippi, I think that would be an altogether more interesting conversation than Kississippi versus Middle Kids. Because I think Middle Kids is good, but I think Pusha T, not only in his genre, but I think overall, is a better album front to back.
Yeah,
that's my opinion.
I agree with you. I love that Middle Kids album. I really, really like it. But as far as what we're talking about and kind of just like, I mean, we're getting down to the nitty gritty and what sets it apart. And I mean, I just think that I agree that Pusha T is just a notch above what Middle Kids offers.
Yeah, and I have to say that the initial point you brought up, I mean, as far as hip hop this year, it's been a little rough.
Yeah.
So this Pusha T album's been kind of a nice light there.
Yeah, and you're totally right, by the way, about a good album being greater because of its
like if Kendrick dropped something this year, would we be talking about Daytona?
Yeah,
that's
true. But that's hypothetical, and it also
and
it could
for
be
me. This is my favorite hip hop release in years.
Yeah,
like I mean, I've listened to all of your chants, and not to say that it's not bad or not good, but
your damn kids and your chants and your Kanye's and your
Kendricks and everything, and I'm over here aging myself.
Even RTJ, not a fan.
No, I do love RTJ.
That's right, you came with us to see them.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I love RTJ, but that's been what, 3 years since that album came out? Has it only been 2?
It feels like 3 because it came out at the end of the previous year.
Okay.
So, like, it officially came out, I think, at the beginning of 2017.
Okay.
But it came out, like, unofficially Christmas before.
Gotcha.
2016.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Yeah. That's probably my favorite thing since then.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Pusha T. Daytona.
Mr. Daytona.
Santa Maria.
Third matchup of the day is our number 7 seed Jenn champion Single Rider versus our number 15 seed Misch Geography. Sexy 1 versus Sexy 2. Let's fucking get down to
That's
it.
true.
See what makes you into yourself more. Let's talk about Jenn Champion first.
It wins.
In terms of like, I think you probably have the most at stake. I don't know, Paul. This was your album. Geography was, right?
Yeah,
I believe so. I think I'm leaning to Misch, only because I love the, and I said this last time, but the highs of Jenn Champion I think are euphoric. I think they're really, really good, and she has a lot of cool song ideas, and not all of it is kind of my vibe. It's not something that I would really turn to. I appreciate a lot of it, but that middle half is like what does it for me. Tom Misch front to back, I don't think is a better album, but I enjoyed it more. I don't know that means it wins.
yeah.
So, yeah. Jenn, I know, is one of your favorites of the year, Billy.
Yeah, so Jenn Champions, I know you're partial to that middle part. I appreciate the diversity throughout the entire album. I really like the flow of it. I don't think there's a song on there that I don't like. Where as far as Tom Misch goes, I feel like his albums, it's great, and like I'm almost the opposite. Like the highs of Tom Misch album is so high, but to me, there's a lot on that Tom Misch album that could be taken out. The album,
I think that's fair.
Long as it is.
There is also that cover that we forgot.
Yeah, there's a cover on there.
Nobody needed another "Isn't She Lovely" cover.
Yeah, and
nobody.
And there's just some things that if we're taken out and shortened to like maybe just 40 minutes,
yes,
I think I would be more on board.
Totally.
But it just drags a little bit for me.
Yeah,
so
that's fair.
In my opinion, I think Jenn Champions just flows better. It's shorter, and it just, to me,
Paul
works.
I'm definitely leaning Tom Misch over the Cyndi Lauper album because
This isn't Gunship.
Oh,
shit, it's the same thing.
Cyndi Lauper.
I know.
right?
Yes, you're right. But
With the 80s synths and the good singing.
Oh my god, what if she did a cover of "Girls Want to Have Fun"?
I mean,
Like a really sexy, somber. You'd probably be into it.
Now, in all seriousness, I can definitely identify what you're saying, Billy, because it's not that every track on the Misch album was a gem for me. Obviously, the aforementioned cover could just cut that right away. I think for me, I'm blinded by I really like all the guitar licks and the way it outlines a really just simple but solid progressions. It just grooves. On the other hand, the vocals aren't the strongest for me. Jordan made a comment earlier that he'd almost like to see an instrumental album with the same musicians, and I fully agree. As far as the choice between these two, it's a little bit tougher. I'm still leaning Tom Misch just because I feel like it'll be more memorable for me than the Jenn Champion one. But they're almost neck and neck in my brain.
I think, Billy, you brought up a good point that is making me lean Jenn Champion.
Ooh.
And that is like, while I do think I would listen to Tom Misch probably more often, listening to both, I found myself attaching to more Jenn Champion than I did Tom Misch. Like, I do like a lot of those riffs, and like Tom Misch has got some really good features, and he's got some really snappy, like very pleasurable jazz songs, but I think a lot of them kind of fall into the background for me. And Jenn, at least the songs that I really enjoyed, she wrote really good songs at the core of them, and I think she has an interesting kind of like 80s pop kind of synth kind of DJ aesthetic. And I think you mentioned this last week that she kind of has 3 chapters to the whole album.
Yeah.
It's like the sexy kind of 80s R&B, and then she does the more DJ electronic stuff, and then it's more like
the acoustic
slow
piano.
yeah.
It feels to me like the Jenn Champion album kind of commands more attention.
Yes.
The Tom Misch, like, you could almost think of it as a background thing, because once you start enjoying those grooves, you don't have to think too much about it. Whereas Jenn Champion definitely has that quality of pulling you in a bit more.
Yeah.
It feels like I'm actually going to get lost in this album, as opposed to that's catchy.
And it's sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
No.
I do like the I am more willing to give props to something that is willing to like actually write full, complete. Not I hate that. That's coming out weird. What I'm trying to say is someone that makes an effort into making compelling music instead of writing around a groove and then just kind of looping it. And Tom is very good at his game. Like as soon as we turn on the songs, it's like, fuck, this like groove's really good. But like beyond surface level, I don't think there's a lot going on there.
Like Tom Misch would be one of those guys that you'd want to see live because his stuff's
absolutely.
not designed to be put into a 3.5 minute like pop song. Like he's one of those people that you just want to see jam live and like really go all out. And that's kind of like what you're touching on earlier. It's just like his vocals, like he's kind of put into this spot where he's got to do these pop songs that are gonna be radio friendly and hit more people, but really what you want to see is him play live and like just see what he can do with the guitar and see where he can groove and everything like that.
Right.
It just to me didn't translate to an album, like we were kind of talking about, where Jenn Champions kind of as an album just translates better.
I think
think
comfortable with letting Jenn Champion move on to get absolutely massacred in the next round.
Oh yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
And I want you to remember that you asked for this.
I want you to look me in the eyes. All right, so Jenn Champion, single rider, takes the lead.
All right.
Last matchup for the day, we have our 12 seed Bonny Doon Longwave versus our 13 seed Covet effloresce.
Hey, do you guys remember that time we couldn't figure out what Son Holo does on that main single to the FRS?
Yeah, we definitively decided that there was no answer.
Yeah, after watching that video many times.
Yeah, and we listened to the song and we didn't really hear anything.
Yeah,
I
didn't feel like it
strong
warranted any further
that he had to
exploration.
have played guitar.
Yeah,
I
Billy
held
was
strong.
at the forefront of that.
I held strong
did
to my
we-
point.
And he
Did
was
you do the
eventually,
research?
oddly enough, proven right.
Oh shit.
Yeah, there was an extended video.
It turns out, no matter how many times you say, I don't know what Son Holo does on the Covet song, it can turn out to be very false that he does actually do something, and it's very easy to find. So,
All you have to do is watch the official music video
yeah.
and not skip around.
Yeah, we had to watch the entire thing through.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Are you telling me I've been sitting here doing a podcast with a couple of skippers?
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Yeah,
I don't
you think
listen to
we listen
anything.
to music.
Yeah, I don't listen to anything all the way through. I just kind of skip around and like, oh, I like this. That's how I've gotten this far.
This is
anyway.
unbelievable. A couple of skippers.
Bonny Doon Longwave, I think it's at least award for me for doing one thing very well, and I think
Playing music,
Being
by the
themselves.
I think I really like the first 3 or 4 songs on this record. I think the guitar is really cool and interesting. I think the back half they kind of it just gets kind of boring. I don't know. I think it's a good record. I think it's another good background record. I think it's a fun.
You sound like you don't
summary-
believe what you're saying.
I'm just telling you. I'm voting Covet. There's no way I'm going to vote Bonny Doon. It's just not. Gonna happen.
Covet definitely wins this round.
No further discussion.
I think Billy's still upset that
So
McSeal lost
Yeah.
by fate.
if McSeal would have come into this round and made it through, I would have been fighting for that, simply because I would have gone 4 for 4, and all my albums would be in
You wouldn't care that
semifinals.
the better album won.
No.
But
Not
what
at
if
all.
you put McRib up against it?
One comes out twice a year.
Yikes.
Yeah.
Is it twice a year? Is it?
Um,
That's like
Depends on where you live, I
indeterminate.
guess.
Yeah. Okay. Fair enough.
But I will say this. There's this one track on the Bonny Doon.
Yes.
If you need the personal just kind of affirmation of somebody singing to you repeatedly that you're who you're supposed to be,
Mm-hmm.
that's your horse right there.
And hey, you know what? If they come back and write a second album that is based on the work ethic that they put into I'm Here, I'm Alive, I would love that album so much because that song is incredible. I think it's a very, very good song. But yeah, I think the Covet album is like both in terms of math rock as a genre and as an album that we have on our list this year, I think is super interesting and still manages to be very emotive and kind of feeling catching without having any vocals to it. And
right.
I think that's impressive.
And also more immediately recognizable. Even
Yes.
if you listen to, post rock or math or anything like that, you can tell when you're listening to Covet.
Yeah, those Yvette Young like guitar lines and just her style, I think is still unique to the genre.
And she's too cute.
She is. It's great. I don't know if we have anything more to say.
Yeah, it's Covet.
I think we made our decision.
Okay. Even Billy knows.